Oh, I guess I should begin the show. Theme song in three, two. And welcome back to LinkedIn Logs, the jobs podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in to the premiere. It started back over. I have to apologize. I just quick behind the scenes. For some reason, the exported version of the theme song for LinkedIn Logs was blowing up on the levels, the sound levels. I try to keep it at -12. That is a broadcast standard. And yet, it's been crackling the past couple of weeks. So I said, let's change it today. Opened up GarageBand and played it right from the raw source, baby. I have a late start to the day. I have to tell you right now, I just had breakfast nigh upon 2 hours ago. That was 11 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. People are at work. People are halfway through their days. I just had breakfast. I'm still full. 30 minutes ago, I came back home from taking Maverick to the dog park, which it snowed here in Atlanta, which was great, fun, wonderful. There's a lot of shaded areas that still have accumulated ice. So there's a lot of sidewalks. There's a lot of some streets that just have like ice patches. It's not cold enough to keep it. It's just because the sun doesn't shine there. And, where the sun don't shine. And also the dog park is just full of ice and mud. So we got back in. He tried to walk. I took off his harness and his necklace, which is a collar, and then the electric collar as well. And he immediately started walking. I'm like, dude, your paws are dirty. And then he sees me like react to him start walking through the house. So I just and he starts running faster. So I had to grab him by the scruff and pull him back to the front door here, make him sit and clean off his paws. Wipe off his belly. Cause he like when he likes to chase dogs, he likes to get down real low like a cougar and immediately sprint. He's fast. He has no stamina. He's also been very needy lately. If you ever get a pit bull, know that they are needy. It is something I looked up and it is true. It's crazy. They're so needy. I wish a woman liked me that much. Anyway, I have a late start to the day. This is something I would usually talk about on the Constitutionals podcast, which is the entertainment business news podcast, which is a lot more relaxed than this one. But I record that on Thursdays, so it's not today. I wake up, my regular time, 3:45 a.m. That's very true. I wake up, I pull out the Theragun. I have some espresso. I warm up my body with the Theragun and like some activation stuff. Brush my teeth, put on my contacts, do my thing. I get out of here at 4:50 because I was behind schedule. I get to the gym 4:55. People are waiting outside. The gym is open till 5, so I thought, maybe they have somebody new and they're following the rules. 5:30, no one was still there. And people were leaving, but a lot of people stayed. Because I have two reasons. I had to leave. Usually I would just stay there, but two things. I have two animals that need to be fed at 7. One more thing. One of them requires the need to be taken out immediately, no later than 7:30, because he will go crazy. Yesterday I did come back home around 8, and he was insane. But thank goodness he did not use the bathroom inside. My Tuesdays and my Thursdays are my cycling days. Tuesdays are also leg days. Thursday is Boxing Day. So I said, why not come home, do cycling first? Did my hour and 10 of cycling. It's Peloton stuff. And then I fed the kids. And then I did 10 minutes of bar so that I knew, because I knew that at 7:30, or at least at 7 o'clock, there'd still be some people who were going to work or in the midst of their workouts. And I just didn't want to catch people who were trying to work, who were working out before work. So I walk in at 7:30. Yeah, 7:30, 7:45. So I walk in. Mind you, the app I use, and I'll get to the job stuff later. The app I use is still currently running. It will not now, but at that point, currently running. So it would have been running from, I got home at like 5:40. From 5:40 till about 7:30. There's roughly 20 minutes of me driving and feeding them and taking Maverick out, walking him around the block. I worked out for a total of 4 hours and 34 minutes. Yeah, excuse me, 4 hours, 34 minutes. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, today's leg day. The thing is, though, I knew today was going to be a long morning, so that's why I got there early, at least 10 minutes earlier than I usually do. It takes me 20 minutes to warm up, do some activation stuff. I had to reactivate. That's why I did bar classes after I did cycling. And then I just did my workout, which I will say was overly planned. It was a leg workout with a focus on jerks. So there you go. Just doing some barbell jerks. And then I got home around 10:45 or something like that. I don't know. Oh, it was after 11. Yeah, because I ate around it. Yeah. Anyway, that was a long morning, and I was so tired. But I said, I have to do the show. I will not miss a day. Except for the times I do miss the weeks. What's been going on? We are in LA is currently dealing with 4 to 6 fires. I believe it is 6. Where they're dealing with 6 fires. Listen to the Constitutionals, or Late Night Lately, rather, excuse me, because I talk about Jimmy Kimmel Live and After Midnight both having to shut down production since last Tuesday or Wednesday because of the fires. Jimmy Kimmel Live came back last night, where he celebrated the first responders, rather. After Midnight is supposedly coming back tomorrow, along with The Price is Right. I believe Papa's House on CBS also shut down. The Neighborhood on CBS. Just basically every show that was shooting in LA shut down, which makes sense because not only did stars lose their homes, producers, directors, regular people lost their homes, people lost their businesses, people lost their livelihoods, people lost their lives, and it was just so unfortunate and sad to see. And it's great that when we have big, horrible disasters like this, I don't say big events, horrible disasters like this, we can have late night hosts come out like Kimmel and Fallon and Seth Meyers and everybody say, hey, go and donate money to the World Food Fund. Oh, God, what's Jose Andres' thing? World Kitchen, I believe this was called. Or these other LAFD things, or, just to help out. It's great to see people like Steve Guttenberg, an actor, come out and be like, hey, leave your keys in your car so we can move your cars so that firefighters can fight fires. But filmmaking now, just 6 short days after, I think 6. 6 days after these fires, they're still going on. Filmmaking has continued. This comes from the New York Times, written by Brooks Barnes. 8 wildfires. It was 8. Oh my goodness. Roughly 300,000 people are under evacuation orders or warnings. Little work got done at studio headquarters. Some studios closed entirely. Oh, and then also what's great is we've Disney, Comcast, Amazon, famous people. They're all donating money. It's fantastic. I think Disney and Comcast could donate just a little bit more money. I feel like if Amazon, I feel like it's $1 billion business. You could donate 20 million and not miss a beat. Just saying. 64 Disney employees had lost their homes. Hundreds more had been evacuated, including Bob Iger, the chief executive, and 3 members of his senior leadership team. Iger has been overseeing Disney's relief efforts from a hotel, approving $15 million for community services and rebuilding efforts. Very kind. Arranging for Disney employees who have lost their homes to receive 2 months of free furnished housing, and opening Disney's studio wardrobe warehouses to employees who need clothes and shoes. He's also been calling Disney employees who lost their homes. That's good. That's nice. I don't see what that does mean. But at least it says that hey, I see you. I see what happened. Disney's movie assembly lines have mostly been unaffected. Disney has seen some flurries of ash on its Burbank lot, but no flames. Pixar and Lucasfilm are based in Northern California. Sony Pictures, which is in Culver City, is far away from the fires. Paramount and Netflix are in Hollywood, which is about 40 minutes by car from the 2 biggest fires. The sprawling Warner Brothers and Universal Picture lots in the San Fernando Valley have been untouched. But I do believe that that some sets that Warner Brothers or Paramount movies have shot on have been burned down. That were just not a part of the main lots. I was also going to say something else. Oh, Jimmy Kimmel. That if his show shoots, it's right across from the Chinese Theater. I believe it's on Hollywood Boulevard. I don't know the streets. But the fires were so close to, one of the fires rather, was so close to his building that you could just walk out on that main drag and turn around and see the fires. And I looked this up when I was doing Late Night Lately. After midnight shoots several streets over, which is why it made sense that they closed down too, because the fires were so close. For the most part, live-action movies are no longer shot in the Los Angeles region. They've moved to Georgia, New York, New Jersey, New Mexico, countries like Britain and Australia. Only 2 movies from major studios were affected by the fires. Filming has stopped for both The Hand That Rocks the Cradle and the third Avatar. Everyone else was basically not shooting movies in Los Angeles. So that's kind of, the good thing that happened with production moving out of Los Angeles. People don't have jobs, but hey, that's crazy. These fires we've seen them really take effect and take hold of the city. Unfortunately, there are many on the right that's right, we're getting political, baby, that are blaming DEI hiring. Which is, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get into it. Right wing DEI hiring, Los Angeles fires. Okay. This comes from NPR. This is the first thing I saw. Heard on All Things Considered, written by Lisa Hagen and Jude Joff-Block. Why right-wing influencers are blaming the California wildfires on diversity efforts. I believe when Karen Bass appointed the new fire chief, when Karen Bass took hold, the city's fire chief, who is a 22-year-old veteran firefighter, happens to be the first woman and openly gay person in that role. There's also 2 more lesbian women in high positions on the LAFD area thing. And then right-wing media, obviously, started attacking the chief of her fire department and the city government. Charlie Kirk, founder of the Trump-aligned nonprofit Turning Point USA, said on his podcast, quote, when you focus your government on diversity, equity, and inclusion, LGBTQ pet projects and you are captured by environmentalists. We have been warning for years that you are worried about your abstractions, but you can't do basic stuff. The idea that these people are blaming fires that happen because we've burned holes in the ozone and because there are other factors. I'm not going to say arson or anything, but there's other factors. Is desperately insane. These people are nothing but vultures, and they want to blame all of the bigger issues on things that they can't control, on things that we should be fighting against. I'm going to continue down. Because this Charlie Kirk guy is a fucking idiot. And there's a lot of people that are doing it. And unfortunately, there's even other people. The reason I looked over to if you're watching the video, the reason I looked over to my right is because the Google Home Max that is right here was lighting up. And I thought, do not say anything, do not play anything. I can't afford a copyright strike. But there are even also people who you would think would be much smarter not to blame because there's queer people in charge, or there's people of color in charge of a fire department where they can't control these fires being set ablaze because of the world. Whitney Cummings, I saw an article where she was on Cracked, where she was where they culled together all of her tweets from the past couple of days, and she's just throwing out conspiracy theories. It's stupid. It's asinine. There are these 100-mile-per-hour winds that are blasting up the fires, stoking up the fires. What sense does it make? Because a fire department had to take DEI training, whatever that is, that because they couldn't predict these fires. What sense does that make? Who gets mad about that stuff? The day-to-day work of helping make workplaces less discriminatory is incredibly mundane, according to Lily Zhang, who's been a DEI consultant for about 10 years. Something that's often lost in these conversations is that DEI practitioners themselves have actually been critiquing DEI from within for decades, said Zhang. We've called attention to the 30-minute lunch and learns that aren't going to solve racism overnight. Zhang said they've seen waves of rising and falling support for DEI over the years, but backlash has picked up since around 2021. Why did I say it like that? The impact of this toxic discourse has been a chilling effect on people's ability to talk about DEI and to communicate their commitment to it. Anyway, I don't get it. I don't get it. People are losing their lives, their homes, their jobs, and you have to blame diversity. All right, next up, this one comes from the Wall Street Journal, written by Matt Grossman. I talk about DEI, and I immediately go to a known right-leaning paper. Written by Matt Grossman and Jasmine Lee, unemployed office workers are having a hard time finding new jobs. More than 1.6 million unemployed workers have been job hunting for at least 6 months. And I'm gonna guarantee that that number has to be higher because this market is tough. I often tell people who, like, I'll talk to friends and they'll be like, I have to go into the office now 4 times a week. I have to, I'm thinking about leaving my job because I'm things like that. And I just go, look, let me tell you right now, as somebody who has not had a solid, job for a little over a year, and then before that, a year and how long was I away? Let's see, December, for like a year and a half, and then it's crazy. You trust me. And yes, I am in a volatile job industry, but man, you got to make that decision. You got to stick with it. The number of people searching for that long is up more than 50% since the end of June. Since the end of 2022. Where did I see June? On average, it now takes people about 6 months to find a job. Okay. Roughly a month longer than it did during the post-pandemic hiring boom in early 2023, according to the Labor Department. The pain is largely in high-paying white-collar jobs, including in tech, law, and media, where businesses grew fast when the economy reopened from the pandemic, but now have less need for new hires. A labor market that looks healthy in the headlines is under the surface, weaker than it seems. The unemployment rate at 4.2% remains well below the average during the decade before the pandemic, and there is now just about one job posting per unemployed worker, down from 2 in early 2022. Strong hiring is narrowed to a thin set of industries. The government's monthly jobs report on Friday will provide the shot. When was this? This is from 2 weeks ago. Now, keep that in mind. This also comes from the Wall Street Journal, written by Lynn Cook. Fake job postings are becoming a real problem. Those are called ghost jobs, and about 1 in 5 jobs advertised is fake or not filled, which according to a new analysis. I saw not this exact article, but I did see something from MSN and also Yahoo this morning. It was the same article. MSN and Yahoo are in cahoots with one another. And I wasn't going to talk about it because I'd already done a Ghost Jobs episode. But then I see this and I'm thinking, oh, it must be, it must be true. But these ghost jobs, I've seen them more and more. I can head over to LinkedIn. I can head I could head over to the Workday for Warner Brothers right now. Although they have taken, I mentioned it last week, they've taken, their 150 jobs that they used to have, and like at least in Atlanta, and narrowed it down to 70. And they keep reposting the same things over and over again. I just don't understand how I misspelled the word Atlanta. I just don't understand 78 jobs. Right now they have 78. How are you not able to find, speaking of DEI, executive assistant DEI, how are you not able to find people for these jobs? If I'm getting denied left and right, or I go over to LinkedIn, only notifications I'm getting are congratulate somebody at this job for 20 years. Congratulate somebody at this job for 3 years. I go over here and I see producer editor at the Weather Channel on site. Posted 4 days ago, 100 applicants. Same thing for something from Odyssey. Reposted a job that I applied for. Reposted 8 hours ago. Over 100 people clicked apply. How are you able to say that the job market is doing well and people are finding positions when that's not the case? And again, I know media is very tricky and very finicky, but as a whole, I mean, there's still, I can click home on LinkedIn and see all of the jabronis on here posting their mental health updates, talking about how they can't find something. The study is from Greenhouse, a hiring platform that examined its clients' job postings and hiring action over the past year. Because I'm sure that they have the access to that. In the same way that I'm sure, Samsung knows if I use the stylus that's in my phone. I bring that up because apparently the Galaxy S25 Ultra, the next X20 is not going to, these usually have Bluetooth in them. These styli, which means you can use it to take pictures and draw on the screen without touching the screen or whatever. Flip the camera around. And I'm sure they know how many times I use that. And this is something that really concerns me. When I went to change because I had to call Disney to change from Hulu. I have my Hulu account separate and my Disney Plus and my ESPN Plus accounts separate. I was being charged $40 for the entire thing instead of having to. So I called them. I was like, dude, what's going on? They refunded me once. And then I said, just give me the Disney bundle, which is $25 per month. Now we'll see what happens. But I called them and the guy, was like, all right, well, let's check it out. All right, let's see. your email. Okay, this one uses Hulu every single day. Or no, Hulu every single day. And I was like, what? Why do you know that? He goes, oh, you use Disney Plus a lot. I was like, yeah, to watch The Simpsons. Like, why do you know that? These things, of course, they have this data. Everybody's watching. Back to the ghost listings. The listings are dispiriting for workers, leading many to distrust potential employers and make difficult process feel rigid against them. Make a difficult. Using data that Greenhouse collects from its clients who hire in technology, finance, and healthcare, among other sectors, Greenhouse figured out that between 18 and 22% of jobs advertised in 2024 were appeals for new workers that never actually were filled. This person wrote got filled, but I'm not saying got filled. I'm an adult. The companies have a number of nefarious and normal reasons for posting not quite real jobs. They may want to suggest they're growing even when they aren't, or may keep postings up in case they get a candidate who's too good to pass up. But it's kind of like, have you ever been on a dating app? It's kind of like going on Hinge or Tinder or Bumble, and this is going to sound so cynical, but it is very true. Some people are doing it for, vain reasons. Some people are doing it to find somebody to be with. Some people are doing it to just have hookups. There's many reasons why people are just on a dating app. The same can be and is true for these job postings. A lot of times, it's like a place has to have, because the government says, hey, you need to have job openings. It just has to have job openings. What's that? There was, oh my God, I can see it in my head. I can see the company in my head. There was a company in Northwest Atlanta that called me. Let's pretend I applied for 4 or 5 jobs. They called me 3 times, and I've had interviews with them 3 times over the past 10 years. Who is it? Ah, crap. I know I've talked about them before, and I know I said I was never going to say their name, and then I said it every single time. Goes with a C. I can't even remember them. The postings add to a confounding market of workers. Economic data is pointing to healthy hiring, including a robust jobs report that showed that 256,000 new jobs were added in December. At the same time, white-collar workers say it's harder to get hired and blame everything from artificial intelligence to tighter budgets. I will say I see a lot of AI-based jobs, especially when it comes to media for some reason. And, besides going to Warner Brothers or Disney or Fox or Paramount work days, I'm talking about like on LinkedIn. I'm seeing, AI game producer job. And I'm thinking, no one wants to, even though I see people apply for that, no one really wants that because we don't want to have our jobs taken like that. How can this is a question I have about this. It says hiring in my network, Sinclair Inc., Arlington, Virginia. Digital content food producer, editor, food, travel, and culture. How are you going to have food, travel, and culture in Arlington, Virginia? And yes, that is a slight at that's a slight at the entirety of Virginia. Come at me. Still, nearly 70% of companies using Greenhouse posted at least one ghost job in the second quarter of last year, and 15% of companies were regular offenders, with 1 in every 2 jobs they advertised languishing with no hire. The industries with the highest percentage of ghost jobs were construction, the arts, food and beverage, and legal. I definitely see it in food and beverage. I know for a fact that used to happen. So how do you spot a fake job posting? For one, I see very generic language, and I go, "Oh, this isn't going to be. This is nothing. That's just for fake job postings in general." Some companies pause hiring when they lose a contract or are worried about the economy, and many job ads live online long after the role is filled. Ghost jobs could be advertised to comply with federal law, which I mentioned before, which requires certain roles to be posted publicly after an external job candidate has already been presented to by a recruiter or an internal hire has been flagged for promotion. Some staffing agencies also post jobs that don't exist so they can go to a company and pitch their services by showing off a great portfolio of talented people who could be hired. They have a nice little chart showing how these job things happen. Wait, it says how to spot a fake, but there's no discussion about how to spot a fake. To give clients better information, Greenhouse rolled out badges that attest clients have demonstrated that they are responsive to job seekers. And I see that not often. I see that sometimes on LinkedIn and Indeed even, but I don't know how exactly true those are. Like if companies are responsive at all. Like on Indeed, you'll see responds within 3 to 4 business days. And then you'll see responds within minutes. I don't want somebody who responds within minutes, and I don't want somebody who responds within 3 or 4 business days. Going back to the dating app analogy, I only want somebody who responds within the day. I think that's good. But for the dating app, I want somebody who responds within the time that they liked me. And baby, I don't get likes. That's why I'm not on dating apps. To give applicants better information, Greenhouse rolled out badges that test clients have demonstrated they are responsive to job seekers, which means they fill almost all roles and write rejection letters instead of ghosting candidates. Late last year, LinkedIn started tagging job listings on its site as verified when it is confirmed that the role is real. As of late Friday, more than half of the jobs advertised on LinkedIn were listed as verified. I don't know if that's true. While there is no perfect way to discern what jobs are real and which ones are fake, I think you have to be very cognizant of what you see. And I think you have to pay attention to, again, like I said, the language, but also look at how many times, not just that job, but also many jobs with the companies have been reposted and posted over and over again. Because if Cox Enterprises for AJC, for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, can't find one person out of reposting this job, over 100 people clicking on apply, one person for a video producer in Atlanta, that's bullshit. The same thing goes for Warner Brothers, Discovery rather, who are reposting the same producer streaming temporary job that I applied to and I can't apply to again, over and over again. And over 100 people have clicked on it. It's the same jobs. Same thing for WSB TV. This job from 2 months ago, over 100 people clicked apply. Digital content producer. And then here's one of the jobs I was talking about. Outlier, voice acting for AI training. Reposted 1 week ago. Like that's a fake job. It's so crazy. And everybody, again, thinks it's so easy. You just leave a job, you go get another one. No, it doesn't happen like that. Maybe it happened like that in the early 2000s, but it does not happen like that now. And to see these assholes on LinkedIn complaining about how sad they are doesn't help. But we can trade places. I'll show you what a sad life looks like. But hey, I was able to spend 4.5 hours working out today. So you know what? Maybe you are sad. But I just don't think that they're to go back to the ghost jobs and to go back to people having trouble finding unemployed office workers. Even though I'm not an office worker, but unemployed people having a hard time finding jobs because of the time we are in. I don't think it's going to get better, especially with this new administration coming in. I don't think it's going to get better. And there's going to be a lot of pivoting. And even in the pivoting, there's going to be a lot of people having to find creative ways to make money. Maybe I'll do OnlyFans again. Remember when that was a part of this show? Hey, listen, if you liked what you heard here, head to the website cpluscomedy.com where I talk to famous people. Due to the LA wildfires, I had several of my interviews be just postponed. So we'll see what happens with those. I did have a goal for a number of interviews this year, and I can't complain because this is a real serious thing. If you want to see a video version of this show, head to youtube.com/C+comedy, where you can see video versions of the other podcasts. Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show, and the Constitutionals podcast, the entertainment, business, news podcast, the premier podcast for this website. You can watch, you can subscribe to those wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky at C Plus Comedy. Follow me on those platforms at Child Black White. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.